Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. I'm so happy to be back with you again. And the topic of today is I went undercover in the sinister world of Meghan Markle hate accounts. The author of this article is Ida Amoako. Credits to her. And I have to talk about this article because the reason why we the Sussex Squad basically exist, we are the only line of defense against this abuse. And I have to talk about it. I have to talk about this because this is very, very important. So the article reads, in November 2020, Megxit, describing the exit of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle from the royal family, was named Award of the Year by Collins Dictionary. The Sun popularized the term, but it actually predates the couple's departure by years. It existed as a hashtag on Twitter as early as 2018, where it was used by people who disliked Meghan, the first black woman to join Britain's monarchy and did not want her to be part of the royal family and were calling for her to leave. Racism, that's what it is, racism. They bullied her, abused her, harassed her. And I'm glad that the Sun is actually sinking after posting a £200 million debt in debt. I'm so happy that they're sinking, to be honest with you. So the earliest use of the tag in a tweet that is still visible, at least in reference to Meghan Markle, is from shortly after the engagement announcement in November 2017 and is merely a pun on Brexit. It's not until the month of the wedding, May 2018, that it appears multiple times as a pejorative towards the future Duchess. Twitter account Prophet Speaks posts an image of Meghan captioned, "The Brits need a vote before a terrible mistake is made." As you can see, even before Meghan Markle was married to Prince Harry, the bullying had already began. The racism had already began. They were already campaigning on her to leave way before they even got married. It said Megxit is trending, but the hashtag really picked up from late September to October 2018. Two key events took place at this time: the couple's tour of Australia and the Pacific Islands, and the announcement of Meghan's first pregnancy. One of the reasons that I believe that they were bullying Meghan is because they really did want her to lose the baby. But I'm glad that she fought through it and was able to successfully deliver her child. As Prince Harry said in the Oprah interview, that it was a very, very tough time for her, a time which was very cruel to her, but she was able to safely deliver their son Archie. So from there, things go into overdrive. Chatterland Duchess also appears in October 2018 with misogynistic tweets, photoshopped images, and poorly faked texts with which hypersexualize Meghan. One user calls her Duchess of Sex. Another tweets, "Putting a crown on a whore does not make it royalty." The hashtags and negative gossip converge with the increasingly negative press coverage, and by the end of 2018, something has changed irrevocably. Public opinion and press coverage have soured so much that just 7 months after the wedding, one Sky News report asks, "Have we fallen out of love with the Duchess of Sussex?" This was a smear campaign orchestrated by the firm and the tabloids. To me, they're basically just an arm together, working hand in hand to smear Meghan Markle, which all of us have seen. They bullied her because they couldn't stand the fact that the white prince fell in love with a biracial black woman. Since then, there has been a constant stream of tweets from Tumblr and Quora posts and YouTube videos expressing varying levels of disdain for Meghan, from the nitpicky to the racist and threatening. While some of it has come from the mainstream, writer Jolie Burchell this week revealed she had been sacked by The Telegraph for her racist tweets about Harry and Meghan's second child, Lilibet. There remains an intense and insular group which peddles hatred online. Meghan has been given nicknames, completely evil nicknames, such as Nutmeg, Margot, Markle, Me, Smeg, Yash Girl, and Megan. The latter revealed in Tatler to have been used by palace ADs. Before January 2020, Meghan referred simply to a desire makes it referred simply to a desire for Meghan to leave and functioned as a way for like-minded individuals to find each other on social media. They wanted her gone. So thus, I don't understand the outrage that the tabloids created when basically some of them were openly telling her to go back to America. So for the people who say she can't experience racism, she's white. Both her children have been subjected to racism. Both of her children have been subjected to racism at just but a few hours old. Now that Meghan and Harry have actually gone, the meaning of Brexit has evolved for some to mean variously wanting the couple to divorce. Absolutely evil. Absolutely evil. A total disappearance from public life, or for the most extreme accounts, her death. And to think that the farm took away her security. It tells you everything that you need to know. The farm stripped her and took away her security, knowing that they incited so much hate. And there are people like this out there. That's why I have to talk about this article. I have to talk about this article because this was a cruel time for Meghan Markle. And the farm took away and stripped them of their security after inciting so much hate against them. I'm calling these kind of accounts anti-Meghan accounts. Mexiteers and Meghan anti-fans. What's an anti-fan? If fans mainly engage with a text, say a TV show or a book, in a celebratory manner, then anti-fans engage mainly in a negative way, expressing dislike or hatred. But I would like to add something there. But these people still profit from that hate. Evil people like Lady Colin Campbell, who definitely even looks like a racist. People like this racist that was fired by the Telegraph a few days ago. Julie, completely evil and completely racist. As with other fandoms, some accounts have achieved prominence. For instance, Marky Meg, a channel offering mostly negative commentary and gossip about Harry and Meghan's life, has over 100,000 followers and subscribers on YouTube and Twitter combined. The account has also tweeted that Meghan did not give birth to son Archie and instead used the services of a surrogate. I reached out to Marky Meg, who, after an off-the-record back and forth, stopped responding. Completely evil, completely evil. But yet they still profit from bullying and insulting Meghan Markle. It's called hate for profit, and it must be shunned. Anti-Meghan content also includes tarot, psychic readings, as you've seen those body language experts by the British tabloids always coming over there, and speculative news analysis, body language and personality analysis videos made by apparent professionals have been co-opted to bolster Meghan anti-fans' claims. Sue Blackhurst, a British social psychologist with 36K subscribers on her eponymous YouTube channel, began making videos about the royals to grow her confidence coaching channel. After posting her first video looking at narcissistic traits she saw in Meghan, Blackhurst woke up the next morning to 10,000 views. She tells me in a Zoom call had hit on something. So what do you think she's going to do, that woman? After seeing 10,000 views on her YouTube page, she's obviously going to continue posting anti-Meghan channel. And that's how hate for profit breeds. Keeps on breeding. And that's why you've seen all these hate accounts popping up from everywhere. Completely cruel and evil. Blacker's audience is mostly American women aged 50 to 65 who respond not just with thanks for affirming their suspicions about Meghan, but with their own experience with narcissism. Blacker's psychology credentials and relatively restrained tone have made her videos a go-to resource for many Meghan anti-fans. When I ask her why she recommends channels like Marky Meghan, according to Taz, another prominent pregnancy truther, she calls both accounts fantastic and says that while she doesn't disagree with anything those accounts are saying at all, she tries to be less direct to avoid strong negative pushback. It's almost like he's becoming brainwashed, Blacker says of Harry. She also doubts Meghan's first pregnancy, citing photographs and video footage of Meghan bending while wearing heels, an apparently false bum and too much secrecy surrounding the birth. This is also a racist ideology that a black woman can't have children. It's completely evil and completely cruel. Perhaps they see that after the level of bullying that they inflicted on Meghan, how is it possible for her to have given birth to Archie? After all that racist bullying, perhaps that's their ideology, that's their thinking, which is evil, to be honest with you, to actually say and be honest with all of you. And Meghan put up with it. She was crying every single day at her home. But still she managed to give birth to Archie, a baby. But unfortunately, a few months later she lost after they left the UK to start their life in America. They lost a second child. And I blame that on these trolls. Harry and Meghan's first child, Archie, was born on 6 May 2019 in the UK. The flagship conspiracy theory of the Meghan anti-fans claimed that Meghan was never pregnant and instead wore a moon bump, a fake pregnancy belly, and that Archie was born via a surrogate. In a now deleted tweet, one user who claims to be a retired midwife says she had a fake bump. It regularly moved, hilarious. She's batshit balmy. Other theories include Archie being a doll, as promoted by well-known anti-Meghan term accounts. Skippy V20. Meghan's not the first woman in the public eye to be subjected to online commenters casting doubt on her pregnancy. The same happened to Beyonce and Meghan's friend Serena Williams. Why is it that this keeps happening to people of color? These trolls like to say it's not racism. Don't play the race card. Don't use the race card. But let's look at the facts, right? Both of Meghan's children have been subjected to racial abuse and racism. Beyonce gets subjected to the same. Serena Williams was subjected to racism as well. In 2020, Atlantic journalist Caitlin Tiffany spoke to a Tumblr user who believed that Sophie Hunter, Benedict Cumberbatch's wife, didn't give birth to the couple's children. Maria Pramagior, a professor of media studies at Maynooth University in Ireland, she wrote a paper which explores, among other tension, Meghan's supposed illegitimate pregnancy and what might lie behind that theory. For Pramagior, the traditional justified public scrutiny of royal pregnancy has coincided with the modern scrutiny of the celebrity body. Kate Middleton had been paired previously with a foil in terms of the good pregnancy and the bad pregnancy in 2013 with Kim Kardashian, where Kate was termed the wife and Kim the whale. Pramagior tells me of a Zoom. She is referring to a U magazine cover titled The Battle of the Bumps. Pramagior sees this comment as precursor of what was to come. The templates had been set prior to Meghan. We already have an acceptable, demure, domesticated, white, pregnant body anticipating motherhood. According to this template, then, Meghan's pregnancy signaled the wrong way to do pregnancy, but then the narrative went one step further, suggesting she wasn't pregnant at all. Classy dress, pregnancy glow, extra weight all over versus fake pregnancy, tweeted according to Taz in January 2019, comparing photos of Kate and Meghan during their pregnancy. This is racism. Racism. Notions of race are also at play in discussions of Meghan's motherhood. A narrative persists that Meghan is not only unmaternal but actively endangers Archie. How can a racist care about the child of a biracial mother? That's a question you should ask yourself. They don't. If you don't love the mother, you can't love the child. You bullied her when she's pregnant, so you can't say that you care about the child when you basically have been bullying the mother even when she was pregnant. For Pragmagior, this is a long-standing trope for black women, certainly in the United States. On Twitter, an account posts a cartoon featuring a heavily pregnant Meghan with bones through her hair, a syringe in her arm, and 4 dark-skinned children. The gun-toting one seemingly based on Marlon Wayans' character from the 1996 film Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. Pragmagior also sees this narrative of child endangerment in the press coverage surrounding the presence of Lily of the Valley, a plant which can be toxic if ingested, in both Meghan and Kate wedding flowers. A Daily Express headline about Meghan's flowers suggests she could have put Princess Charlotte at risk. Can you see what Meghan has been through? The evil that she's had to take at the hands of these racists? For the anti-fans, this fake pregnancy is the Watergate. The truth always comes out in the end, no matter how hard anyone tries to hide it. Reads the bio of one account. I just want to warn you all. I'm on a rampage to expose this mom bum treachery. Here's another in a now deleted tweet. What do you think these people are going to do? These people would want to harm the child just to get to the mother. And the thing about these people is that they target royal reporters, prominent Meghan critics, not critics, abusers. I think she messed up when she was writing that article. They're not critics, they're abusers, such as Piers Morgan and the official royal family accounts. On the most fundamental level, if you don't see the child emerge from the woman's body, you don't know where it came from, says Pramagyur about the possible reasoning behind the theories. The question is it really a royal heir? Is it really related to the Windsor line? How can you be sure? It sort of adds to that fundamental kind of anxiety. The anxiety is that Meghan is getting away with something. It's a common thread in the obsessive conspiracy theory. I like the word that she's used, obsessive. Laden narratives around women linked to beloved famous men, like Sophie Hunter and more recently Keanu Reeves' partner Alexander Grant. Delegitimizing Meghan's pregnancy means that her child, referred by to one Mexiteer as a genetically mixed up, I'm not going to mention that because that's evil, is potentially not in the line of succession. The elimination of the threat Meghan poses to the monarchy is the biggest motivation behind Meghan anti-fan activity and might explain why some extreme accounts buy into conspiracy theories. A now suspended account belonging to a user worn by the name Koza2U explicitly endorsed these ideas in its bio, which read Meghan should be tried for defection, extortion, slander, to name a few. Then what should you be? I would like to ask this user Koza2U. Then what should you be tried for? Racism, bullying? Because that's what you're doing. You're evil and you're inciting hate against someone and threatening her life. This also has, to me, attempted murder. These people are evil, are completely evil. Studied into belief in conspiracy theories point to contributing factors like low self-esteem, the desire for certainty and power and control, and feelings of powerlessness. But recent studies also connect a belief in conspiracies to narcissism and bolstered confidence in systems when they are under threat. Yet the system is the British monarchy and the threat is a mistress foreigner. For Meghan, anti-fans conspiracy theories which confirm her maliciousness might bolster the view that the British monarchy, by contrast, is beyond reproach. And Dr. Agneta Fischer, a social psychologist and professor in emotions and affective processes at the University of Amsterdam, explained that hatred can be a communal activity. If you're part of a group who hates another group, the expression of hate also means a social bond between you as in-group members, he says over Zoom. Fischer and her colleagues write about motivational goals, essentially what the people who hate are seeking, which often is the elimination of their hate object. That can take many forms, but Fischer also notes that sometimes just sharing your hate is already some sort of venting. Sharing your hate with your own in-group is already sort of satisfying. Similarly, Dr. Bertha Chin, a social media and communication lecturer at Swinburne University of Technology and the author of When Hated Characters Talk Back, Twitter, Hate and Fan Celebrity Interactions in the book Anti-Fandom, Dislike and Hate in the Digital Age, says of the Megxit hashtag on Twitter, which I find completely racist. I know it was bad, but I didn't realize it was that bad. Yes, it is that bad. It's completely bad and evil what has happened to Meghan Markle. If you want to look at it from an anti-fandom perspective, is what new character who's coming to the narrative and is changing the narrative of the original show. The motivation behind anti-fandom isn't simply hate, they're gatekeepers. As Chin puts it, they love the thing so much that they don't want anything to spoil it. For some of their accounts, an intense love of the monarchy fuels their anti-fandom. Wanting Megxit longing for the days when Harry played Gooseberry to Wills and Kate could be compared to liking a TV series before a new showrunner took over. Yeah, they miss Harry being a third wheel following Kate and William around. Anti-fans tag the official royal Twitter accounts with their grievances in the same way that Star Wars fans tag Rian Johnson. Their activities petitioning for the removal of titles, boycotting companies that work with Harry and Meghan, organizing hate-watching and review bombing, mirror media anti-fan behavior, blind items at their fan fiction, Photoshop nudes at their fan art, but as experts on anti-fandom also write, anti-fandom shouldn't be seen as a cover for what is it is at its core, obsessive online hatred. Why can't Twitter take action against such people? If the Meghan anti-fans and sympathetic Duke and Duchess of Cambridge fans stand on one side, the pro-Harry and Meghan group known as the Sussex Squad stand on the other. Squaddies are fiercely protective of Meghan and Harry. Yes, we are and we always will be, seeing themselves as the only line of defense against waves of criticism and bigotry. Yes, we are. In general, their online behavior aligns more closely with traditional fandom, although the behavior of some accounts has crossed over into abuse more often, aimed at journalism for perceived bias, particularly racial bias against Meghan. Well, yeah, most of them are biased against Meghan. It's pretty obvious. Curiously, the squad seems more aware of itself as an internet fan group, referring to the Maxitas as they call them, as anti-fans, sharing links on parasocial relationships and the psychology of trolling while Mexiteers attempt to diagnose Meghan with narcissistic personality disorder. Well, that is who the racists are. They are the ones with narcissistic personality disorder. They're narcissists, those racist trolls. In 2019, Sky investigated the trolling of Meghan on social media, calling the abuse directed towards her unprecedented and highlighting the kinds of accounts making these comments of the anti Meghan accounts I approached while writing this piece, not including Marky Meg. One declined to be interviewed, another did not respond to a request for comment. Two Tumblr accounts, which blog about both Meghan and Kate, and a pro Sussex Twitter user, however, did agree to talk. Johanna, a young American woman, tells me over Zoom that her interest in the royal family increased when Harry and Meghan married. I'm a black person, so it was so cool to me to see a biracial person married into the royal family. Joanna describes royal fandom as divided. She feels that the anti-Meghan blogs have more of a place among Cambridge fans because while there are some Cambridge fans who try to distance themselves, some Cambridge fans actively try to absorb them into the fandom. Interactions with such accounts can be frustrating. Oftentimes, I feel like the media misinformation has gone so far that even if you try to correct it or even if you prove them wrong, they are still not going to listen to you. Alice, who has to remain anonymous for fear of receiving death threats, also became invested when Harry and Meghan got engaged. I thought it was super cool that an American actress was going to be a member of the royal family, she says over Tumblr. But after the wedding, she went down a rabbit hole and it was the worst. I saw posts saying that Meghan was a social climber. One post says that Meghan was obsessed with Diana and Kate, and that she wanted to marry William but she settled for Harry. The most aggressive posts were about Archie. As you can see, these racist trolls are completely racist and evil. That's what they do, that's who they are. And Kate was the one who chased William all through university, not Meghan. So it's unfair for them to criticize Meghan for a handsome prince deciding that she wants her to be part of her life. As Harry says, he was beautifully surprised when he entered the room and saw Meghan. Charlie, who runs a pro-Sussex Twitter account and spoke to me on condition of anonymity for fear of professional repercussions, was wary of speaking to me at all, anticipating a false equivalency between being drawn between them and the Mexiteers. The unifying echoes of the two groups are extremely different. Charlie tells me over email. The Sussex Squad is a group united by their admiration for Harry and Meghan and inspired by their cause-driven work. Megxit is a racist hate group, spewing racial slurs, misogyny, and conspiracy theories across social media in the hope of driving Meghan out of the royal family. Charlie is also frustrated by the insistence of some royal reporters that the racist abuse only appears online, feeling it ignores the media role. It is the media, it is the tabloids that do this. It is the tabloids. They are the one who put up these conspiracy theories. It was the media stories pitting Meghan and Kate against each other and suggesting that Meghan was perpetually breaking protocol that created this antagonistic rivalry, they say. Johanna, Charlie, and interesting enough, Meghan anti-fans, like according to Tizar's comments about the media, point to the warped relationship between journalists on the royal beat and fans or anti-fans. I spoke to BuzzFeed news reporter Ellie Hall, whose article comparing headlines about Meghan and Kate went viral. She went over Zoom that she interacts with the royal watchers on Twitter because she feels too many reporters live in a bubble of their own making, but admits that she has found it harder these past few years. It has gotten increasingly more toxic, she says. Also, the criticism become personal attacks. Until I started writing about Meghan, I didn't get this email criticizing my work and criticizing the truth, says Hall. Similar to both US and UK politics, When it comes to royal stuff, people fundamentally do not believe the truth. Meghan was pregnant. This is a fact. People disagree on that fact, like she's faking a pregnancy. Hall recalls receiving an email referring to Meghan as, I'm not going to mention, that's evil. American mediocre actress. I've never seen a mediocre actress making $40,000 an episode and having a net worth of $5 million, for your information. I get emails that make me sick to my stomach. True, these racists make us all sick to our stomachs. Of the royal daughter, a group of UK tabloid and broadsheet journalists who cover the royal family, Hall says they get far worse abuse than I do for the things that they write, and Meghan fans can be nasty too. No, we are not nasty. We just speak the truth. That's what we do. Hall recalls Meghan's fans calling Camilla Tomine, an associate editor at The Telegraph, who writes about the royals' camel toe. Tomine recently wrote for the paper about the abuse she received online as a royal reporter. Because that bitch lies. That's what she does. She's a liar. She's a freaking liar. That's exactly who she is. Harper's Bazaar royal editor, Omin Scobie, is a particular target, says Hall. He gets it worse than everybody and is a person of color. I reached out to several royal reporters, some wrote, some not. One declined to be interviewed, citing the abuse they had received online. The others did not respond in time. Camilla Tomini is a racist, completely, and she does Kate's dirty work. Exactly. How does, Meghan made a cookbook for the Grenfell community and she linked it to domestic terrorists. William was there, it wasn't linked to terrorism. Harry was there, no links to terrorism. And suddenly a biracial woman shows up and she links it to terrorism. She's completely evil, she's completely racist. That's exactly who she is. Hall suggests that there is a particular facet of the media ecosystem which has created the tense relationship. The reliance on anonymous sources. This is a bit built on anonymous sources, and if readers don't trust reporters to be impartial, then they are not going to trust that these reporters have done their due diligence on all of these stories. I ask all about royal reporters who follow and retweet anti-Meghan troll accounts. She, a little unconvincingly, I have to say, partially blames the reporter's lack of Twitter proficiency, but also understands that things like this contribute to that mistrust. If a royal reporter retweets rational criticism from an account that is widely anti-Meghan and believes Meghan is faking a pregnancy, people who like Meghan will see that as a sign of bias on this reporter's part. They are all biased, that's exactly who they are. Omin Scobie, who has been covering the royals for over a decade and is currently the royal editor at Harper's Bazaar US, says that the world of royal watching was somewhat simplistic before 2017. Significantly, Meghan's arrival on the scene coincided with the rise of Donald Trump. We saw Trump become president. We saw conspiracy theory becoming part of the mainstream news agenda in the US and in the UK. It tells me in a phone call. So this ability to go online and search conspiracy theories was becoming very normal. It was around this time that Scobie became aware of anti-Meghan Tumblr blogs and of a sudden increase in interest in himself. A recent anonymous Tumblr post caption, Bashir down, Scobie next, features a gif of a man in a chicken suit flapping his wings while he is shot at point-blank range by another man smoking a cigar. For all intents and purposes, this is a tacit death threat which incites violence against a journalist. Exactly, this is what I'm talking about. These racist trolls trolling Meghan are completely evil and they're capable of many, many bad things. And they should be even tried for attempting to kill someone. It's a death threat. And they are evil. And we are the only line of defense against these people. They're not people, racist, evil racist. At the same time, the tabloids in the UK got more fierce with their coverage of the Sussexes. Scobie adds, that negative coverage can sometimes enable more aggressive, sometimes violent and hateful conversation underneath these stories. With 20 to 30,000 comments in what is a largely unregulated forum, for Scobie, the situation is connected to the state of the media, both journalistic and social. It's a whole economy of hate, he says. But Meghan has been very much been a victim of that. She has been the poster child for if you talk shit about someone, if you spread false information, if you put the line close to racism or sexism as you can, you'll be rewarded for it through likes, retweets, column inches, airtime. That's exactly what happens. When you go to the tabloids, all you need to do is abuse Harry or Meghan and get free publicity. That's what people in the UK do nowadays. Scobie sees an unhealthy relationship between certain members of the royal press and anti-fan accounts. He names royal commentator and Prince Harry biographer Angela Levin, who met Prince Harry for like 10 minutes and wrote a book about it, who has tweeted or retweeted bizarre and fictional conspiracy theories about whether Meghan's baby bump was real or not, whether Archie was via a surrogate, or whether Meghan and Harry are secretly separated. Levin has retweeted anti-Meghan accounts and pregnancy truther Yang Kiwali, who I'm happy to say was suspended a few days ago. Her reward is a social media engagement boost from hundreds of accounts dedicated to spreading hate, says Kobe. Her acknowledgement of these anti-fan conspiracies enables an entire group of people online to carry on doing the toxic things they do. Levin responded via email to a request for comment with no comment. Because she's evil and she's a racist bigot, that Angela Levin. Gossip is also an integral part of this media ecosystem. Elaine Lowe is the founder of LainieGossip.com and a TV host on CTV's eTalk and the social in Canada. She tells me over Zoom, I do think that any gossip conversation exposes our value system. So in terms of royal gossip, I think that the royal family in particular is definitely a gateway for all of us to interrogate systems, institutions, cultural values, and social norms. When Harry and Meghan began dating, Louis initially saw a lot of excitement, but very quickly it started to turn, especially when I started to write about all the shitty headlines that were coming out of the British tabloids. Some of the engagement with Louis, chooses to use the term Sussex it, receives it more extreme. There is one person in particular who emails me a minimum 5 or 6 times a day to shit on Harry and Meghan, and particularly Meghan, which links to YouTube videos of what they've just watched. What do they want? Louis isn't sure. But I do know that there is definitely a frustration in the tone of those emails. Why don't you get it, Lainey? The abuse doesn't just come from the anti-Meghan faction. I've been attacked by the... No, we haven't attacked you. I'm not going to mention that. I do think that, though, that if the primary purpose of the Sussex story is to defend Harry and Meghan, that's great. Harry and Meghan have been unfairly targeted. I agree with you on that. But I would caution against using the same tactics of bullying and ugliness that are already out there and fighting evil with evil. You know, you cannot negotiate with a racist. That's what I'm going to say about it. You do not negotiate with a racist. You have to be firm when you respond to those kinds of racists. So where do we go from here? It's been over a year since Harry and Meghan stepped down from royal duties, but the negativity still runs at fever pitch. Even after they've left, these racist trolls are still obsessed with bullying them. Professor Fisher says that trust is the first prerequisite of not hating someone anymore. The Meghan anti-fandom will need to be convinced that the Duchess' perceived motives are no longer threatening. There has to be a radical disruptive event in order to restore things, she says. For some, that event cannot be anything less than Meghan's divorce, humiliation, and penury. And they don't have to look too far to find media commentators suggesting that a reconciliation for anti-fans, a restoration of the old way of things, will only happen if Meghan is out of the picture. That will never ever happen. That will never ever happen. For Joanna, two things need to happen. First, I believe that racism needs to be acknowledged, she says. Secondly, media coverage of the couple has to subside. Charlie also advocates for acknowledgement of the racism towards an uniquely poor treatment of Meghan, although not by the fandom but by the royal family. For Charlie, it would take an apology for the Sussexes, accountability from the royal family, and a truce with the UK press. You cannot have a truce with them. They are bigots. They are complete bigots who want to see your downfall, who are upset that Prince Harry married a biracial woman and actually loves her. In the UK, the only thing that they love there is... The only thing that they truly do love there is people who are bigoted. That's who they love there in the UK. And they love cheaters. They love people who cheat on their wives. That's who they love. Harry protecting his wife and son really pisses off the British tabloids. It really pisses them off. As you can see, a pedophile is protected in the UK, while a person who buries a biracial woman and protects and loves her is treated like shit. Who doesn't believe the betrayal towards Meghan will ever subside because of the ownership some feel over William and Harry? I think that if Harry does divorce and he comes back, he will be forgiven. She says, I don't think that there's any way that is possible for Meghan. So if these people think that Harry is going to abandon his wife and son, then they've completely lost their minds. What does he need to be forgiven for? For defending his wife, protecting his wife, for not being a pedophile, for not being a chief, for not cheating on his wife? He protects them. He cares for them and he loves them. And that's what he'll always do. Those who really dislike Meghan will never believe that Harry had decided to leave the royal family of his own accord. Like Hall, Lou isn't too optimistic about a de-escalation. Harry and Meghan are living their lives successfully, she says. As long as Meghan and Harry are happy, those people are going to be pressed. Well, let them be pressed. Let them lose their minds. That's exactly what I want. That's what they deserve. I don't really know how one would even try and untangle that, said Scobie of the online toxicity. If we don't have some kind of movement or effort from the very top, i.e., for YouTube to take accountability for patterns like Tumblr or Twitter, to actually put more effort into monitoring the communities that they are allowed to take space on their platforms, like Charlie, Scobie believes the royal family should intervene. We haven't really seen much fight back from the palace itself. The palace is promoting this ideology, this bigotry, that they're not going to stop. He acknowledges Prince William's anti-bullying initiatives and the successes upcoming work building positive online communities, but as we've never actually had the royal family address the online hatred, bullying, and racism that has existed and grown to extreme levels in the past 4 years. In 2019, Kensington Palace did announce new social media guidelines in an attempt to limit the toxicity on their accounts and revealed that they had been in touch with social media firms for help, but their accounts continued and continues today to see abusive comments. It may have been the inadequacy of the response that led to Harry and Meghan feeling let down and unprotected, as they revealed in the Oprah interview. Scobie calls for accountability from everybody: members of the royal family, the institution itself, the social media companies, media organizations, and individual journalists, from myself to the Angela Levins of the world and everyone in between. A Twitter spokesman told Refinery29, keeping Twitter safe is a top priority for us. Abuse and harassment have no place in the service. We have clear rules in place that apply to everyone, everywhere, that address threats of violence, abuse, and harassment, and hateful conduct. And we take action when we identify accounts that violate these rules. And POL, Twitter never really does anything, to be honest with you. So I hope you've really looked at this article, because I have. This is a very, very powerful article that addresses many things, well researched and well done. And I must say, this abuse, if this racist troll think that Harry will ever abandon his wife to come back to the UK and do what, follow William and Kate around, it's not going to happen. He isn't like that. He isn't like the Andrews that you have in the UK. He's not a cheater like William, who cheats on Kate with Rose Hanbury. He's not like that. Harry protects his wife and son. He would rather be Meghan's husband than your prince, and it makes you sick. They feel a sense of ownership over Harry. If you loved him as you said you do, you would never have bullied his wife. You would never have driven Meghan to having suicidal thoughts while pregnant. You would never have done that. So get over yourself and leave them in peace. Leave them alone. Leave Prince Harry and Meghan Markle in peace and alone, so that they can be happy. They are happy in the US with their son and with their daughter, Lilibet Diana. And I'm happy for them, and I'm excited for them, for what the future holds for them. Harry and Meghan are successful, are getting more and more successful. When they try to put them down, they keep on going up, and no weapon against them will ever prosper. And I love that for them. No weapon against them will prosper. They'll continue thriving, not surviving. Thriving, not surviving, as Meghan said. And you can be a racist, you can do whatever the hell you want, but leave Meghan and Harry alone. We, the Sussex squad, are the line of defense for them, and we always defend and protect them. You cannot negotiate with the racist. You don't negotiate with them. They hate you based on the color of your skin. So there are no sort of negotiation that you can have with those kinds of people. So guys, I hope you've really enjoyed this article, because there's something which it has actually disturbed me, a few words that have been used. And I'm sorry for that. But I find this article, we are the line of defense against abuse. So I wanted us to understand why we are here, why we are even existing. And I want our community to grow into a more powerful community. The Sussex Squad community, we are powerful already. We support our favorite royals, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, from this abuse. We fight for them. That's who we are. And I'm glad of who we are. So guys, I love you guys. And make sure you like, subscribe, and comment below. Tell me what you think. I want to hear directly from you. Click the like, subscribe button. Subscribe on my YouTube channel. and I hope you enjoy more content. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Love you guys.